Thank you, Your Excellency. Now we have the pleasure of welcoming His Excellency, Mr. Paul Shipokosa Mashatile, Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, a friendly nation. Welcome. Welcome.
Your Excellency, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal, Your Excellency Ousmane Sonko, Prime Minister of the Republic of Senegal, esteemed leaders and excellencies from other countries, Mr. Bakary Saga Bathily, CEO of APIX Senegal, technical partners here present, captains of industry and business community from across the African continent and the globe, Ambassador of South Africa here in Senegal, Ambassador of Senegal to South Africa, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, President Faye, my delegation and I are delighted to be here in this beautiful country, the land of Teranga, and we appreciate the magnificent hospitality that you have extended to us. I bring with me warm and fraternal greetings from your brother, President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency, President Cyril Ramaphosa, to you and the great people of Senegal, on this auspicious occasion of the holding of the second edition of the Invest in Senegal Forum under the appropriate theme of connecting opportunities, building the future. When Prime Minister Sonko extended the invitation to me to attend and participate in this event on behalf of the government of South Africa, I did not hesitate to grab this major opportunity to be among all of you and other friends of Senegal. Monsieur le Président, by presiding over this important forum at this impressive Abdo Diop International Conference Center, under your leadership, you are ably demonstrating your resolve as head of state to catapult Senegal as a prime destination for national and international investors. As you traverse the path of realizing Senegal Vision 2050, be assured that in South Africa, you have a partner and an ally in development and future prosperity. We also acknowledge and applaud Senegal's historic role as a champion of Pan-Africanism, continental unity, self-reliance, peace, stability, and the torchbearer of the vision of Africa's development. We will always remember the role that your country played in the formation of key continental institutions, from the Organization of African Unity, its transition to being the African Union, including landmark institutions such as the New Economic Partnership for Africa's Development, NEPAD. Furthermore, allow me, Mr. President, to take this opportunity to commend the government and the people of Senegal for a successful transition following the presidential elections held in March last year, a development that entrenched your country's reputation as a beacon of democracy and hope. As South Africa, we also held our own general elections last year, resulting in ushering the 7th administration under what we now call the Government of National Unity. Mr. President and distinguished guests, South Africans and Senegalese people enjoy and cherish deep ties forged through solidarity, friendship, and the common pursuit of freedom for our peoples. Senegal supported the anti-apartheid struggle during the darkest chapter in our country's history. You will recall that it was here in Dakar, the capital of this country, that from 9th to the 12th of July 1987, the leaders of the African National Congress in exile met a group of white South African leaders, mainly from the Afrikaner community, among whom were those who perpetuated oppression. The Dakar talks, as they came to be known, opened dialogue that laid one of the seeds for a post-apartheid democratic dispensation. In dialogue that laid one of the seeds for a post-apartheid democratic dispensation, we saw progress. In this regard, Dakar and Senegal have left a positive and indelible mark on the annals of our history. Since 1994, relations between Senegal and South Africa have been solid and comprehensive. We have made tremendous progress in expanding bilateral areas of cooperation. However, we recognize that a lot of scope remains to be covered for these relations to reach higher levels. Both countries have recently exchanged high-level visits, giving practical expression to this relationship. In April this year, our Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Mr. Ronald Lamola, was in Dakar to co-chair with his counterpart the inaugural session of the Joint Commission for Bilateral Cooperation. Through this and other efforts, the economic relation between the two countries will move towards a higher trajectory. Senegal is host to several South African companies, and South Africa is open for accelerated Senegalese private sector investments in our country. It is in this context that my delegation to this investment forum includes business people representing many sectors who are here to explore opportunities for investment and trade, to network and work towards securing deals. As part of the continent's development trajectory, the role of business should not be underestimated. Mr. President and distinguished delegates, Africa has made tremendous strides in the global economy. Despite challenges, the African Development Bank reported that in 2024, Africa accounted for 11 of the 20 fastest growing economies in the world, with Senegal included in the list. This trajectory is expected to continue in 2025. In South Africa, although the growth rate is low, the government has embarked on a series of reforms and implementation of stimulus packages to boost the economy in several areas, including infrastructure development, in critical areas such as roads, rail and ports, and by deepening industrialization in areas such as manufacturing. In terms of energy security, one of the main projects in the pipeline in South Africa is the Greenfield Deepwater Port Development Project in Boegoebaai in the Northern Cape Province, which will also be part of the hub for green hydrogen generation. This major project will also require significant investments. In this context, leveraging our financing institution is imperative. And in our case, the Development Bank of Southern Africa and the Industrial Development Corporations stand ready to explore avenues of collaboration, primarily in relation to bankable projects. Furthermore, it is essential to adapt to the emerging digital economy as it provides opportunities for upscaling small and medium enterprises. As African countries, we need to strengthen partnership amongst ourselves with businesses to accelerate cooperation to maximize the vast riches that our continent possesses. In this regard, the strengthening of value chains within our continent is imperative to promote beneficiation and achieve competitiveness. For instance, the increasing global interest in Africa's mineral portfolios, including rare earth minerals needed for the new global economy, is a major development to be welcomed. However, we need to tread with caution and to mine and trade these resources on terms favorable to our countries for the benefit of our people. Mr. President and distinguished guests, we have collectively worked hard to craft and finalize the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, the African Continental Free Trade Area. It is now time to fully implement this agreement, which provides the leverage needed to increase intra-Africa trade. African countries should trade more amongst each other, particularly in an international environment increasingly characterized by the imposition of unilateral and prohibitive high tariff regimes by some countries. As part of its contribution to accelerating inter-African trade, South Africa has since the start of the preferential trade framework of the African Continental Free Trade Area on the 31st of January 2024, commenced exports to several African countries under this mechanism. The countries include Ghana, Kenya, Rwanda, Egypt, and Algeria, amongst others, with reciprocal imports from some of these countries. In a rapidly changing global economy, the resilience of Africa stands out. However, we need to do more individually and as a collective to grow and expand our economies. We should nurture environments and conditions that create employment opportunities to our people, particularly the youth, and drastically eradicate poverty and hunger. No one amongst our people should be left behind in a continent as rich as ours. Mr. President, as I conclude, I wish to reiterate that South Africa continue to advocate for cooperation and solidarity and for mutually beneficial relations. Africa's prospects are intertwined with the aspirations of her people. It is in this context, as chair of the G20 this year, and considering the forthcoming summit to be held in Johannesburg next month, that South Africa has sought to deliberately ensure that Africa's interests are taken into high consideration. As a build-up to the summit, the work already carried out in meetings of the different thematic streams has covered some important issues of significant weight to Africa, such as financing for development, food and energy security, and climate change. We look forward to a successful summit and to it having positive outcomes for the development of our continent. Finally, I reiterate with profound satisfaction and gratitude the opportunity offered to the entire South African delegation to be here in Senegal, for the extremely warm hospitality and the excellent organization of this investment forum. The outcomes from the many engagements will go a long way in upwardly propelling the